Good day, student researchers. Today, I'm going to give you an overview of what research is all about. This semester, you're going to accomplish one thing, and that is Chapter 1. For others, they will say that research is a difficult thing to do. And for others, they will say that research is like a mountain to climb, or a wall to break, or an ocean to cross. But we need to keep calm, cool, and collected because everything is gonna be all right. I think it will be easy if you work together as a team. So, there are three things that I need to emphasize before I will continue my discussion. This semester, you only need to accomplish the first chapter or the proposal chapter. In Talisay City College Research Center, our standards in writing a thesis or research is that it should come in three chapters. So the chapter one or the first chapter is all about your proposal. The other two chapters will be accomplished next semester. It is therefore very important to make your chapter 1 very nice and scholarly. Number 2, this is going to be a group work. You need to work together as a team. No one should sleep in doing his job. You need to do it all together, all at the same time, so that you can accomplish. Because everything in this course is time bound, meaning to say, there are set deadlines for each module, and if you cannot accomplish one module, you cannot proceed to the next, and you will receive a grade of INC. It is very crucial because the first module is actually the title of your research. You have to propose a research title and it will be approved by the research center. If you cannot do that, you cannot complete and accomplish the rest of the modules. For this semester, you have to complete and accomplish 6 modules, and each term will come with 2 modules. I will be sharing to you my screen right now about chapter 1 so that we can have a discussion. And if you have questions, you can always write your questions at the comment box, or you can email your questions to tccresearchcenter@gmail.com, and we will try our best to make a prompt reply. So chapter 1 starts with a question. You cannot start a proposal or you cannot start your research if you don't have questions in mind. You need to have questions so that you will start looking for answers. So chapter 1 is all about asking questions. I will be navigating you to different slides, and this will show you examples of different sections of chapter 1. There is no need to follow what is written on the slides because these are just examples. You can actually create your own and be creative in your writing. So the title of chapter 1 is The Problem and Its Scope. And the first 3 sections that I'm going to discuss are the following: rationality of the study, theoretical background, and conceptual framework. For the rationality of the study, it is the introduction of your thesis or dissertation, and it establishes a writer-reader relationship. It means to say that the first time I will read your research or your proposal, the introduction must be very good and well crafted, because if there is no interest coming from me in reading more of your research, it means to say that your work is not good enough. Another thing, it creates a first impression of your work in the reader. Hence, it is quite important that the introduction is written well. According to Monash University 2009, introduction may consist of 4 elements. The first one is scene setting. The second one is research background. The third one is gap. And the fourth one is purpose of the study. How are you going to start your scene setting, research background, gap, and purpose of the study? How are you going to write it? I will be giving you examples on how to do it. For scene setting, you may write it this way. But again, let me remind you that there is no need to follow the examples given to you because you can actually create your own and be creative with your writing. Examples. Recently, there has been growing interest in X. Over the past 3 decades, X has been studied using various methods. For research background, you may start it this way. Several studies have investigated, researchers have identified, a recent survey has shown that X. For the gap, you may start it this way. Few attempts have been made too. However, X has received little attention. For the purpose of the study, you may start it this way. The aim of this thesis is to. The purpose of this thesis is to. Now let's go to the next section, the theoretical background. There are ways on how to formulate your theoretical background. Number 1, examine closely your thesis title and your research problem. Number 2, specify the theory used as the basis of your study and include the proponents of the theory. Number 3, cite the main concepts or points of the theory. Number 4, identify the significant variables that might be relevant to your study. Number 5, support your explication of the theory by ideas from other experts. Number 6, review your related literature to determine how scholars and experts have addressed your research problem. Again, the first module of your course, research, is actually the proposed title. You need to come up with 3 titles, and one of the titles will be approved by the research center, and once you know it, you may continue with the rest of the sections of chapter 1. Review of related literature. It is a comprehensive survey of published research on a particular topic. The review summarizes, synthesizes, and evaluates critically relevant research. Now let's go to the next section, the conceptual framework. It provides an outline of how you conduct your research for your thesis and maps out the actions required in the course of the study. It follows the IPO. IPO stands for Input, Process, Output. You will know more about this when we discuss conceptual framework in the succeeding modules. Another section is the statement of the problem. On the screen is actually an example of the statement of the problem. As you can see, these are a set of questions that you need to answer. And once you're able to answer these questions, the main problem of your study will be answered as well. When you create the statement of the problem and when you formulate the questions, make sure that will address the main problem. Another section is the significance of the study. Significance of the study is the section of your research wherein you need to explain how individuals, organizations, and other agencies will benefit from your study. And you need to explain it very carefully and arrange them according to the degree of importance. So, for example, if in your study, the most important agency or organization that will benefit from your study is the school, then you write the school first as the first beneficiary. Another section of your chapter 1 is research design. And research design has several subsections. We have methodology, research locale, research instrument, data gathering, and statistical tool. For methodology, this is an example. As you can see on the screen, the researcher is utilizing descriptive normative method of research employing correlational analysis. Now, for different methodologies, you need to research it on your own because we don't have enough time to discuss everything. That's why it's called research, because you also have to do your part in knowing different methodologies in research. Another subsection is actually the locale or the research location. In this section, you have to provide a map, or you may append the same map to the appendices. And the map should be very clear that the reader will understand where you are going to conduct your research. Another subsection is the research instrument. Now, for the research instrument, you could use either of the three. We have the standardized, the adapted, or you may also have a researcher made, meaning to say a questionnaire that you made it yourself. Again, you will learn more about that in the succeeding modules. For the data gathering, you need to explain how you are able to gather the data. How are you going to start it? How are you going to conduct it? And how you are going to end your data gathering. It should be explained very well, and it should be in a narrative manner. For the statistical tool, you need to review and learn more about statistics. There are different formulas that you need to include in your statistical tool that will answer specific questions in the statement of the problem. So you need to have a complete idea. In this section, you may ask help from somebody who is knowledgeable enough when it comes to statistics. And the last section of your chapter 1 is the definition of terms. This is actually a list of words or terminologies that you are using in your study. You may find these terminologies in the title of your study or in the statement of the problem. This may include variables and other words that your readers may not understand. And when you do it, you need to alphabetize the words so that the reader will understand them easily and more specifically will have no confusion at all. Thoughts to ponder. Number 1, research the distance between an idea and its realization. So when you have already an idea and how to make that idea into reality, that is called research. Number 2, research is what I'm doing when I don't know what I'm doing. So if you are confused at the moment, you are actually on the right track because your confusion will lead to realization and your realization will lead to the completion of your research. Number three, research means that you don't know but are willing to find out. So again, everything starts with a question. If there are things that you need to know and you want to find out the answers of questions, that is what you call research. So my dear student researchers, I hope that you understand the overview of chapter 1. And again, you will know more about the different sections of chapter 1 as you go along with the modules. Again, for this semester, you need to complete 6 modules, and for each term, you need to complete 2 modules. And everything is time bound. Make sure that you work together with your team so that you can accomplish what is required from you. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have some questions, you may type in your questions at the comment box, or you may email it directly to tccresearchcenter@gmail.com.